Hello, my name is Eddie. I'll be going by the handle Nerd Avatar. If you're here, you have an interest in Dungeons and Dragons, and you'd like to experience a new game, let's begin. You wake up to the sound of gentle water splashing, and you feel a light rocking motion. You you breathe in through your nose, and you feel the air is cold. You're laying on a hard surface, and you also hear the sounds of wood creaking. You open your eyes, and you realize you can't see. You reach up gently with your hand, and you probe around your face, and you pick up some items that were covering your eyes, and you sit up as you realize you had 2 gold coins covering your eyes. As you're sitting up, you look around and you see that you're in a boat. The boat looks very much like a Viking type ship. There's no other crew. Um, it's dark. It's very foggy. It's chilly. You can see your breath. You you look around, and as you're examining these coins that you're holding in your hand and the scenery, you're just taking it all in. You realize there's something in your mouth. You're spitting it out and wiping your tongue. You know, that kind of, you're just emptying whatever's in your mouth, and you realize you had flower petals and herbs, all manner of potpourri, basically stuck in your mouth. You stand up, and you look around you, and you're not quite sure what to do. Um, this is where you're not sure what to do. Um, as you get ready to look over the side of the boat, you hear a noise, something that catches your attention. It's almost instinctively you turn your head towards the figurehead of the boat, and it's almost like your head turns before your eyes manage to catch up. And on the figurehead, a crudely carved dragon head. On top of it, you see a crow, a blackbird, a raven. It's looking at you, and it's doing these jerky head movements as it's examining you, and then when it seems to have enough of a look at you, it leaps off, spreads its wings, and starts flying. It does one big circle around you, and then it takes off, flying towards the direction the boat appears to be going. You look around some more, and you realize that there's like a wind or something that's filling the sails, and it seems to be like with a slight shifting movements. It seems like the boat is navigating itself. Again, it's very thick fog, and it's nighttime. The water looks very dark. You can't really make out anything in there. And as you're sitting there trying to figure out what to do, you realize if there's a bird nearby, then maybe dry land is nearby. So you focus your eyes towards the front at the figurehead of the boat, and sure enough, it seems like the fog is slowly parting, and you can see some dry land. It looks like there's a shore of some kind of island, and the boat actually runs aground. It just runs into the ground till it goes no more. There's still a little bit of distance of water and mud. So you climb over the side. You almost slip a few times, and you just stomp your way through this sloshy, muddy water. You're basically cold. You're wet, and you're covered in mud as you manage to slip just as you were about to get out. So you're covered in this mud, this cold, wet, and you just not feeling it. You see a worn trail in the foliage and the brambles on the shore. It's like a very steep bank leading up. You see a worn trail. You follow this trail, and as you get to the very top of the bank, you come to a clearing, and in the distance, not too far, you can see a longhouse, pretty large longhouse in the distance, smoke rising from the chimney, and the roof's covered in thatch, and it has some rather large double doors on it. One of these double doors is actually cracked open, and you can see the warmth of firelight inside, and you can hear the sounds of merriment. And and you also notice something smells very delicious, like roasting meat. As you approach, you cautiously peek inside the door, and you're not sure if it's engineering or if the place is ensorcelled, but the inside appears to be a lot bigger than the outside. And as a matter of fact, you're taking this all in. You see that the ceiling is being held up by massive columns, and the inside of the roof is lined with round shields. The ones that have the traditional round shields with the handle in the center, used for redirecting the force of a blow rather than absorbing it directly. You also notice there's picnic benches and picnic tables. All this longhouse, it's filled with these tables and benches, and all manner of stuff is on these tables. You see mail, chainmail, leather armor, helmets, tankards, drinking horns, platters, plates, all manner of stuff, swords, axes, and you see a lot of people milling about. There's women milling about with they're carrying several tankards, mugs of ale or some other drink. There's people wrestling. You can hear people in unison cheering and oohing and eyeing as they're spectating this wrestling match. The floor, it's compacted dirt with straw, and but anyways, you're looking at all this stuff, but then your eye is really drawn to this gathering of people near the entrance. It looks like there's one gentleman sitting at this table. He has a group of people around him, and they're intently listening to what this gentleman is saying, almost like he's telling a joke and he's getting ready to get to the punchline. So you see this gentleman. He has a bald head, and he has his beard. He has 3 braids in his beard, and he pushes away from the table he's sitting at. He stands up and he gestures at his genitals, and he says, "Und I said it's like a baby's arm holding an apple," and everybody busts out laughing. Sorry, that was my Swedish accent. So everybody busts out laughing, and he's got this smug look on his face. He's just surveying the crowd, just right proud of himself. And as he looks around, he sees you standing in the doorway, and he immediately, his expression changes, like it almost brightens up even more. And he takes a step forward, and he gestures with his arms. "Oh, you must be new here. Welcome, welcome to the great hall. Please come, you must have a lot of questions, and you must be very hungry." And he motions for you to come closer. His gathering, they seem to have departed already. He turns his head and yells towards one of the barmaids. He yells out, Hilda, please bring some more ale for my new friends." And this rather stout woman, very big forearms, and very big hips, meant for producing stout children, and these forearms meant to carry lots of tankards at one time. She just kind of gives him this look like, yeah, okay, whatever. So he motions for you guys, if it's more than one person. He motions for you to come closer. He extends his arm. He extends his hand out for like a handshake, and he says, "I am Eagle Skala Grimson," and he's almost like pauses and almost like looking to see if that name registers something with you. And after a little pause, he says, "You know, son of Skalagrim, yes? You heard the stories, yes?" And it's almost like he's expecting you guys to pick up on his name. He says, "You have heard of the name, yes? No, all the children's songs are made after me. You didn't hear? You didn't hear about how I died? I was in my house surrounded by enemies, and my bowstring snapped. And I asked my wench to cut off her hair so I could use it, and she said no." And he starts laughing like it's the funniest thing ever. He says, "That is when the skalds came with the song, the children's story. It says, 'Do not piss off your wife before you go to battle.'" He chuckles some more, but he says, "That's okay, that's okay. So you are in the afterlife." And he goes on to say that you must be very hungry. Why don't? And he motions for you guys to follow. So he takes you over to the fire pit, and you see a boar roasting on fire. It's about the size of a VW, and it's got this golden brown skin. It's just glistening in the fire. You hear the sizzle as its juices drip into the fire, and the smell. It's just you don't know how long you've been on that boat, but your stomach's telling you it's about time to eat. So he takes this big old serrated sword. He slices off big old hunks of meat of this off this boar, and plops it on a platter. And he's got this cauldron right next to the boar in the fire pit. He takes a ladle, stirs it around a little bit, and then gives you a good old helping of whatever mash or gruel is in that cauldron. And he shoves the plate into your chest, and he encourages you to eat. As he's doing this, he's telling you how only those, he tells you that you had died in battle. He tells you that only half of those who died bravely in battle come to the Great Hall. And this Great Hall is the final resting place. It's a preparatory hall for the end of days, the final conflict. All those who manage to come to this hall, your only purpose is to prepare for this final battle, and to be ready at any moment. So you sit down, you have some food. He answers whatever questions you have for you. He even gives you some more insight. And Hilda, I forgot about Hilda. So as you sit down with your plate of food, this rather stout woman comes by. She slams these mugs down, gives Egil an interesting look, and she says, this woman with these twin golden braids, she gives him this look. She tells him, "The name is Brunhilda," as she stomps off. Maybe I'll cut that out. So he answers any questions you may have, fills you in on the afterlife. Your job is to eat, drink, and wrestle, and stay in shape, so that you are ready for when the time comes. The doors will swing open, and everyone will march out for battle. Once everybody's had their fill. Oh, you also notice any meat that was cut off this boar seems to be growing back by itself slowly. Once you had enough to eat, he tells you the first night, everyone will have to fight. And he gestures for you and your group to follow as he goes over to the fighting pit. It's like a recessed area in the dirt. It's covered with straw. There's a few spots of blood, some teeth, and looks like there's even some cow pies mixed in there. Probably to add to the added effect of being thrown to the ground. But regardless, he asks for volunteers. This is where players would take turns wrestling. It would be straight D20 rolls. Best 2 rolls out of 3. That would be the winner. Just go down the line, ask for volunteers, and those that are not actively wrestling, they may cheer for their teammates. It's a very simple rule. You roll flat D20. If you roll a 10 or higher, whoever you're cheering for gets a +2 on their roll. If you get less than a 10, that means 9 or lower, then whoever you were cheering for gets a -1 on their wrestling check. It's just basic, very basic, no modifiers. Just kind of get a feel, just want people to get a feel for simplified mechanics. Once everybody's had a chance to wrestle, Eagle, he'll want to jump in and want to challenge one of the winners from the group. As he does so, someone gets his attention and tells him it's time to meet the big boss. So he's almost like hesitantly, no, that's not the word I want to look for. He was eager to wrestle, but then he realizes the boss takes priority over his little fun things. So he shakes you guys. He gives you like a man hug, and he wishes you guys the best. And you're taken to another area of the longhouse, actually a side chamber, and there's you led through some more doors and through different corridors, and it's almost like the air is getting cleaner and the decor is getting a little more fancier as you go. You come to this beaded curtain. Your guide parts the beaded curtain, and you look inside and you see a rather stout looking man, long hair, blonde hair, manly beard, very well built. He's sitting on this what appears to be a throne, or a rather fancy heavy chair. He's got women around him. They're massaging his arms and feeding him grapes and waving a fan at him to keep his temperature down. And he, as he sees you guys standing in the doorway, he shifts ever so slightly in his chair, and he speaks up, and he says, "You must be the new ones. Come here so I can see you." As you approach, he looks you guys over, almost like with a piercing gaze. And he says, "The prophecies foretold that when the final days come, when the great wolves swallow the sun and the moon, then the great wolf will be released from his chains, and the end of the world will begin. The doors will fling open, and we will charge out and battle, and we will win. But I have wisdom. I can see things that you cannot." He goes on to tell you that it is not our place to meddle with the affairs of the mortals, but he can sense that something is happening that is changing the prophecies, that is changing the outcome of what is to happen. And he wants you to go see the crone. Go see the crone. And he tells you as you turn to leave. He tells you, "The blood moon must not rise. Go now." And you're taken to another area, and a figure with you almost can't tell the gender by these heavy robes this figure's wearing. This figure's wearing these green heavy robes and got a cloak covering the head, and you almost couldn't tell what's going on. You even see antlers sticking out from the head of this figure. The figure, as it sees you approach, points this stick at you guys. But as you look, you realize that's not a stick, that's a finger. And it's very long, almost like a foot long, and it's got these knots and gnarls in it. And you almost thought it was a stick. But regardless, this figure points a finger at you and says, "You must see what the mortals see." And she wipes a spot on the floor with a swift movement of her arm. She clears a spot on the floor. She grabs a drinking horn off one of these tables, dumps it out, and sets it in on the floor. She grabs your hand very quickly, and you feel that she has a very strong grip, almost like supernaturally strong, surprisingly strong for her frame. And with her other hand, she grabs his dagger, and she slices your hand, and she lets your blood drip into the drinking horn, and she lets go of your hand, almost like she doesn't have any more use for it. And she grabs your other party members one by one. She grabs their hands and makes a small cut in the palm of their hands and lets the blood drip into the drinking horn. You notice her fingers are so long and gnarly, she can't even curl her fingers around the hilt of the dagger. She has to do this, she's just grasping it weird. It's just, this whole thing is weirding you out, but you're going with it for some reason. So she gets blood from every one of you and collects it in this drinking horn. She grabs this pouch, retrieves this pouch from her within her robes, and almost like a practice motion, she uses the tips of her fingers to pull the drawstring loose, and she dumps the contents, this powder. She dumps the contents into the drinking horn, and she dips her finger inside the horn and mixes the mixture of blood and magic dust with her finger. And as she pulls her finger out, she draws runes and circles on the floor around this drinking horn. And she stands up and makes an incantation, and the horn, it begins to froth and bubble. She reaches down, picks it up, and pushes it into your chest. She says, "Drink this spell, and you will see, and you will walk amongst the mortals." At this point, everybody would, in my one-on-one sessions, everybody would get a mini shot glass, plastic solo cup shot glass size, and I'd pour some funky drink. I actually got mead online from the internet, but in order to keep it PG-13, we're just going to use some coconut, pineapple flavored sparkling beverage found at Walmart, 68 cents bottle. Anyways, everybody gets to take a shot of this spell. Once everybody drinks it, you feel weird, you feel strange. At this point, everybody would be instructed to look at the bottom of their drinking cups, and they would have symbols on them. These symbols represent special powers that have been randomly assigned for all the players. And then you would make your character at this point. She she gives you the horn to keep, and she waves her hand and makes some more incantations, and the runed circle on the floor, it flashes with a myriad of colors, almost like all the colors in the rainbow. And it seems like the floor disappears, and you can see clouds, and you see lightning arcing from the clouds, jumping from cloud to cloud. It's almost like it's zooming in, zooming closer, past the clouds, going through different layers of clouds. She tells you to ride the lightning, and remember not to let the blood moon rise. At this point, everybody would be released to make their characters, and the next session, you actually, from where you are now, you can see there's a raging battle going on. There's a castle that's being assaulted by an army. You see catapults and siege towers, and the army is making their foot soldiers are getting ready for a charge at the gates. So if you have any questions, my contact information should be somewhere. And whatever. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope to put some more stuff online, or at least make it available for other people who are interested or are looking for material to use. Once again, my name is Eddie. I'll be going by the name Nerd Avatar, and this is just a little hobby, something I've been working on for some time. Alright, hope you enjoy. Bye.